In today's video, I'm going to tell you how I got started with investing and why I actually started this channel. So make sure you stay tuned. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kevin Yee. I'm actually a former pharmacist, YouTuber, and I'm a millennial personal finance guide, not guru. And on this channel, I teach young professionals how to simplify their investing, cut out the noise, and make investing fun again so you can automate your investments, create real passive income, and just start being that kick-ass investor that you knew that you could always be. And I'm actually shooting this video today because we're actually running behind on some of our edits. So I want to shoot something very quick and dirty. And this topic actually came up where I was thinking, hey, a lot of people probably haven't seen my other channel. If you guys don't know, I actually have a main channel, my personal channel, but this one I strictly talk about investing. So the reason why I'm shooting on this topic today is because one, I feel like a lot of you guys watching this might relate to this. Believe it or not, I was very irresponsible in my early 20s, and that really inspired me to motivate myself to start investing. And a lot of my investments have passed like the 6 figures marks, and I just want to show you exactly how I did it, my story, how I was a complete F up, but just got back on track as well. And also give you an idea about why I even started this channel and why you should even watch me, right? And what makes this channel different from other channels. So if you're struggling with actually getting to investing, or you feel like you're just not good enough, or you're just like in a financial mess right now, hey, I totally relate to you. You're in the right place. So yeah, let me kind of share my story so you can understand and you can model exactly what I did. So if you can't tell, I'm Asian. I grew up in an Asian household. My dad is actually 4th generation Chinese American, I believe. My mom is like 1st, so that makes me 3rd, I guess, if you combine them together. I don't know how that works. My dad's side was always very poor. There was no one really rich. He was actually the first one to go to college, but he was never the type to want to start his own business. He never really wanted to aim for 6 figures. My dad was relatively conservative. My mom, on the other hand, she actually came here from China. She escaped during the whole Cultural Revolution. She worked her ass off in order to provide for our family, her family, and her family when she got here as well. No one taught my parents how to do personal finance or anything like that. Growing up, we would use like plastic bags from the grocery store, for trash bags. We would do a lot of these these cheap hacks, these immigrant hacks that we would do. We try to save money all the time. Our idea of investing was just throwing it in a bank, collecting our 1 to 2% interest, and we thought, hey, we're Gucci. It wasn't until my uncle on my dad's side, I was 11 years old. He actually pulled me aside. It was at my cousin's birthday party, and we were running around. We were doing a boys versus girls fight and whatnot. My uncle pulled me aside, and it was so random. He was just like, you need to learn how to invest. Don't be like your dad. You're throwing away money by putting your money in the bank. But here's the thing. I was 11 years old. I didn't really have that much money or any money at all. The only money I had was from my red envelopes. Actually, I have some red envelopes still. My red envelopes from Chinese New Year's, my birthday and stuff. So I get that from time to time. But interesting enough, that was the start of me investing. I remember not too long after, my uncle brought me into Fidelity. That was my first brokerage account, and we opened up a Roth IRA. And I believe my uncle gave me like my first 1 to 3,000 as well. My parents couldn't afford it. My uncle didn't really have any other kids, and he really blessed me with that. And it really changed my life from that point. And so with that money, he was like, go aggressive, right? And so I don't even know how I chose the fund. I just saw the words aggressive, and I literally lost 50% of my portfolio that like within a half a year later as well. And this is during the 90s when the stocks were really going up. Bill Clinton was the president at the time, and the market was doing really, really well. This is right before the dot-com boom. So I lost my money in a bull market. That shows you how much of a great investor I was. I just left it there for years and years and years. Didn't really look at it. I invested like some of my money, like my lucky money, into my Roth IRA, but I didn't really do anything with it. It just sat in cash. And that's a thing that a lot of people don't realize about a Roth IRA, is that you need to invest that money. You can't just leave it in there. But I didn't know any better, and my uncle wasn't really looking that deep into it. So I left it in cash for years and years and years. I think we moved it to like maybe an index fund later or something like that. Fast forward, I was 20 years old. I was kind of like a broke college student. I would pick up pharmacy shifts. Like when I turned 16, I started working. I started working as like a cart pusher at a grocery store. I hated it. Worked there for like 1 month, and then I was like, dude, I gotta look for something else. So then I started working at a local GNC. So like one of those, not the GMC trucks type of thing, but a GNC, which is the General Nutrition Center, where people used to buy supplements before the internet existed. So I used to slang supplements, and then I actually I was like, hey, maybe I'm considering something like pharmacy. Fun fact, if you guys don't know, I'm a former pharmacist. And I started picking up shifts on the weekends whenever I came back home from college as well. Basically what happened was, I think during my junior year of college, I did a study abroad. I had way too much fun. I was like 20/21 years old. And basically what happened was, I was out with my girlfriend at the time, right? We were just going for all you can eat sushi all the time. We were going clubbing, we were going karaoke. It was so embarrassing. My mom actually hit me up and she told me, hey, Kevin, you overdrafted, and she had to bail me out. And I was like, fuck. So I was like, man. And what the embarrassing part was, this wasn't the first time. It wasn't the second time. It was literally the third time I did this. And I felt so ashamed at that point, because I think when you turn 18 years old, or when you're a lot older, no one wants to kind of rely on their parents. You're trying to determine your own independence. And I was like, how can I be a reasonable adult if I can't control my finances? What would my life look like from there? And so that's when I was like, Kevin, like, you have all the resources in the world. You have a great uncle that cares about you, who knows a lot about investing. You should start listening and taking your uncle's advice, because I knew what index funds were. I knew like the concepts of investing. My uncle used to drop money magazines to me every single day, but didn't really hit me. And I think that's something that's important too, is like, sometimes you just need to be mature enough to invest. You can have all the knowledge, but it takes a certain level of maturity to actually take action. When I came back from the States, this was like, I think like a month later, but basically I picked up Ramit's I Will Teach You to Be Rich book and started diving deep into it. It was the #1 book that really changed my life back then. I was always following Ramit back then too, but this is when I started implementing the advice and taking it seriously. I set up all my systems, and my uncle started driving me back and forth during this time too. And we would go on long drives. Like, for y'all that don't know, me and my dad, we never really got along. And so it was my uncle that drove me back and forth from my college to my home. And he was really, really there for me. And during these hour drives, one way, by the way, we would talk about things like the stock market and going over these terms. We had these long drives where we would just talk about the market. We had nothing else in common, literally nothing else in common but the stock market. And it really helped me build a really great relationship with my uncle, actually. Along with that, reading Ramit's book, I was reading a lot of other blogs like Get Rich Slowly. I bought a lot of different books like Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, the smartest investment you can make, which was like a 401k book. I pretty much bought all the books on the market and started reading and educating myself. And that's how I started investing. And so I started really double downing in 2009. I graduated pharmacy at like 2013. I was still doing those pharmacy shifts, and I doubled down on when I became a pharmacist. I started investing like crazy. And I think by 2016, I already broke 6 figures in terms of my investments, right? You got to realize I invested at the very bottom of 2009, and I just invested like crazy. I literally, it was crazy because I was literally sleeping on the floor, like even as a pharmacist. Like, I bought a Japanese futon, I kept everything minimalistic. I just shoveled all my money into the market, which really, really paid off. That's how I built up my portfolio. And it wasn't that crazy. I wasn't doing like Tesla stock. Well, there were no Tesla stocks back then, but I wasn't, I was just, this was just straight with index funds, with, yeah, just doing index funds for the most part. I started off with a target date fund. If you guys don't know, that's like one of the first things I recommend for most people to do, because it's easy and you can just shovel your money in. I couldn't afford an Admiral fund from Vanguard, because I switched over to Vanguard because they had better funds at the time. And I remember just investing into index funds, and I was like, man, if only one day I could get an Admiral fund. And then I had enough. I had the first 10,000. I invested all into it. It was one of the best accomplishments in my life at the time, right? And I felt so happy that I did that. But it goes to show you that something so simple can get you massive results. And it was just amazing to see how fast I was able to invest that money. Now, after I left pharmacy, I'm honest, like, I'm not investing as much into the market. But you know, that money keeps on growing every single day without me touching it. And that's the main key. It's like, you want to do your best not to touch that money. Now, in terms of investing, I'm investing into different things, like my businesses, my service-based businesses, my YouTube channel, different other businesses as well, because those are a little bit more tax-friendly. I can do write-offs and all that, but that's kind of my investing journey. And so the reason why I shot this channel and why I started this channel is because there's a few reasons. First reason being is like what my uncle taught me, and that tradition, how my uncle and I connected over investing. Man, I just want to pay a lot of homage to my uncle, because he taught me so much. I remember he was the one that gave me this money pamphlet when I graduated. He's like, hey, make sure to brush up on these before you go into the real world, right? And I think having someone by your side who can really help you with investing, it can change your life. Like, I could have easily fell into credit card debt, but if it wasn't for those people that really helped me out and who educated me and took the time to invest their time into me, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I'm just so grateful for that. Second thing is, like, honestly, a lot of the information out there is boring as fuck, right? Like, if you read Intelligent Investor, it's really hard to read. And it's not what people actually really need to know in terms of investing. So that's like the second reason as well. And the third reason is there's a lot of people teaching investing out there, but really what I wanted to do was add that personal element through storytelling. Recently, I've been doing a lot of how-tos, but going forward on this channel, I want to incorporate different stories, different analogies on this channel as well, and just make it fun. And of course, obviously this is a business for me too. So I get to write off things like my camera and all that sort of stuff, but it's really fun for me just to talk about my investing stories and all that sort of stuff too. Like I said, if you guys are just starting investing, you feel like your life is falling apart, hey, no worries. Start one step at a time. If you don't know where to start, I have a few resources for you. One, I have hey, where should you start your Roth IRA? Make sure to check out that video. People say that's one of my best videos. I really like that video because that's the first step where you should start. You should open up a Roth IRA, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing that will probably help you is my playlist. I have a playlist on how to invest. There's a lot of different videos. I give out a lot of free information on there. And the third thing is I also have a Roth IRA bootcamp, which will help you get your Roth IRA set up and completed in just over the weekend. It's a real mini course. It's a real course designed to help you get to that goal. I've had people just finish it within a day, you know, but take the weekend, take a weekend morning and just get it done. Once you set it, you can forget it. You don't have to worry about it. And it's really solid. Yes, I have a Kickass Investing full academy, which you can pick up, but you know what? Make sure that you, like, the main thing is go through my content first, go through my masterclass. And so I just want to show you that, you know, everything that I do is legit, and I'm not trying to be a fake guru or anything like that. That's really important to me. I just wanted to make sure I impact as many people as possible, but yet sustain a business as well. So that's my goal with this channel. By the way, I would love to kind of hear from yourself. What sort of topics would you like to hear from me on this channel? I can cover them if I like, one, if I enjoy the topic, and two, if it serves others. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out those videos that I told you, and I will see you later next time.